Hello, everyone. This is Sharon Serota, and we're here at SunGates Center with Ella Arbit today. Welcome, Ella.
Thank you, Sharon. I'm glad to be here again.
Yes, welcome.
It's
back.
becoming a ritual.
Yes, this is wonderful. And Ella is an honorary guest here, a visionary, and very creative. She is also here to help us talk about quantum today. So that's our topic of the day.
Well, it's my favorite topic of the day as well. I've been working with quantum as a fractional time necessity. Let's call it that since 4 o'clock in the morning.
What does that mean?
What it means is that had several theoretical options available. When gate opens, you walk in and you begin. Quantum space is very tight. I'm very proud of my connection with quantum because there are only few practitioners like me who are allowed to walk in. It's like a sterile room. Why is it so particular about people who work or who are welcomed? You have to be welcomed, or it's not quantum. It's very appropriate for somebody to know the time and slice it, spice it, and work it. I'm jokingly saying that, but literally, you need to be flexible as an option to know the period, the time, the necessity, the bending, the accumulation of time, formation of thought, and the flow. So tight, so impossible, but I'm so native in there now.
You know, they say that time here exists on Earth, or we make it exist because we flow with time. But time is irrelevant to the universe. And it's outside of us that, time, they say, can go backwards, it can go forwards. That, we have the history that we can go back to, or we can even go forward in time. So how would you describe that?
Okay, well, it's a loaded question. It's a wonderful question. I'm so grateful for the question. Okay, going forward, I've done all my relative times. I've done forward going, and I was trained by guardian angels, father, and it's called an option. A option, you're going forward. So I only knew the forward going. I did backwards just one. It was out of the relativity field, and it became impossible for me because I've lost my footing. So I've lost a little bit of what Father is saying, of dimension, not the dimension space where I couldn't find myself. But I know I was trying to freeze. So and they walk you in that space. So on the command, and I know the command because I'm a prophet, so I could freeze and released by them. The discipline is very important. Pride doesn't work because it doesn't flow, which means the essential elements are within you, but you have to be guided. You lose the second, you lost the flow. So what's so important, and there was something, kind of sitting next to me, thinking about freezing time within us, not just outside of us. The freezing inside is done by God. For example, He's changed my physiology, which we'll be talking forward going. He's changed my physiology. I can go, He can stop my heart. He can rewire me, and you can check my pulse at certain times, which is a necessity for me because you cannot mix sometimes the clock, the internal clock, with the internal work of quantum. So that's why he's had so many things done with me, not wrong, but we worked for 6 years to get to the point I'm quick. I'm very possible in the quantum, and I'm very keen. Clear consciousness has a word for it. Keen with time. You become time. You walk into the. You can flow and walk into the time, and you merge and you study.
That's so interesting about quantum. How using quantum can actually affect the body. You can change the physical reality of your body, and many people have done that with their health through healing or quantum healing. Can you describe what that means?
Well, gates. I think in the previous program we mentioned gating. So it's like dating. It's a hit and miss, but I don't miss my gates because I don't gaze. I see it, I focus, and I walk in. But you have to have a capacity of your eye, which is also physiology. So quantum teacher, which is God, has told me to freeze at times, and he had to tweak it. So none of this is done by you personally. You become, let's say, a specimen. First, I was trained to be a prophet and instrument, and then I became a choice. Choosing your own options there is easy, so you become precise, not relative. Albert Einstein is also on the quantum team, one of my proud teachers. He was a relative when he came. I am a choice, which is very precise, and I'm very gifted that way. But you have to be spontaneous for that. So you have to know all the fields and feel competent in them. But they gave me a lot of codes. I love codes. I work with codes. Within the code, clear consciousness teaches me to sequence time, which is a very bizarre thing to even think about it. But what's the problem with all these numbers and seeings and knowings and all that? You have to discern time in such a proud way that it becomes your second nature. I think it's the future of medicine. I think if you feel time, you know how you probably work, but also important thing is to gate it.
And what does that mean when you say to gate it?
Find the solution.
So you're finding a solution, or is the solution finding you? Because there's an intelligence within that.
God forbid.
That, we're not guiding it ourselves, but that through quantum, that there is an innate intelligence mind, so to speak, that handles it, that we don't actually handle it.
If you own your own time, which is hard in that relativity proposal of gating, you become an owner of your space. Gates are very enormously popular in the future. Which is, I'm not going to even be precise with that. I don't have an allowance for that option yet to be so precise. But gates are enormously powerful instruments in the future. As a medical provider, as a person who worked with spontaneous all my life, because I always wanted to know what spontaneous is for healing beyond the pill. I always wanted to know what's in the basket and what can be done besides what's available to today's medicine. My comfort zone is quantum. I found that within seconds, a split second, you can change the condition of your mind. You can become happier in front of somebody's eyes. By the way, the lenses are very important. Nobody studied the eye the way I worked with God to study the eye. As an instrument, he taught me what focuses my eye. I'm not talking about double vision. I'm talking about very positive changes that take place within you, how to connect my eye with my heart. He can inverse the right eye. It only takes place with the right eye. My left is important to me because it holds my matrix. The right is working quantum. I'm free in my subconscious, so I studied freedom in the beginning. Boy, once you're free in your mind, nothing clogs your mind. It's a totally different physiology altogether. Nothing affects it. That's why I have so much time to invest into future of medicine, future of a lot of scientific foundations that are not known yet. But it's the principle by which I function with love.
So what experiences have you had then with quantum healing?
There are no obstacles whatsoever.
So you mean to say that anything is possible within quantum?
I don't even know how to answer that, because it doesn't go to me. I don't question it. Maybe that's the problem. I cannot quantum question myself. I open work, and it happens.
Because the way I understand quantum is that there's open possibilities, probabilities, that with frequencies and with waves of energy, that it can alter realities, it can change things.
That's the problem that I'm not working with. I don't alter, I specify, which is a phenomenal pride of a father of Hashem who knows that probable is a sentence structure that he didn't teach me. Probable is a disease process. Probable is a fear. Probable is all the above that I'm not going to mention. Let it stay above. Now, where I stay at my proud level is, I can ask. Then it opens. But I'm not intrigued by quantum. I'm not relative. So I am one maybe with quantum, but again, I ascended. I became one with love. So I switched already. I'm more of an evolution flow, but I became ahead of evolution at some point. They started to teach me diagonally. Diagonally, it's a phenomenal thing. Diagonal is very hard, but nothing is hard. I think relative is harsh. This is what I would say. Evolution takes you as a choice. Once you become a choice, it's almost like an apprentice. They became so enticed by who I am that they started giving me task after task after task. But I was sitting like a little mice, expecting. Expecting is a choice that I gave myself to grow. I didn't resist. I didn't find anything that I didn't like.
So by asking for assistance, for help, you're asking your higher self, you're asking who are you talking to or who you're asking for this?
I've lost higher self is very low. It's not even a level for me anymore. But I ascended, so I don't have the option of higher self and all that. So I cut through the time with Father because he's the only one who can resist his own structure. Oh, he says, talk about design. Okay. What's favorite topic, I think, in the future, which we didn't touch yet, Health by Design is the program. We alternate a lot. He doesn't want me to struggle with one topic. So Health by Design is the modem we talked about last time. The generosity of tools that became available to me as I worked. Like this morning, I worked with how many modems? 6 modems at the same time. So
can you explain what do you mean by modem?
Modem is part of the structure part. It's a design. Okay, I can explain modem.
Sure.
I can explain modem in a way that you will be surprised. Okay, we both are mothers, right?
Repeat that.
We both are mothers.
Mothers. Okay,
yeah.
Yes, we're both.
We
mothers.
delivered kids, right?
Yes.
So what happens? You have no control or no option to have the child or not. You just go and deliver the kid, right? Nobody ever explained how. Modem. So it pretty much, I apologize for saying the word taking over, but it's a gross misunderstanding of what we don't know. We're so behind times. I think that pushed my ego aside, and I became all eyes. And my eyes, I think in the beginning, were so big at certain times. So I was like, really?
So how come? That just keeps going.
Yeah. So
and you're moving forward, and it just propels you forward.
Yeah. Silly things are in front of us and block us to the point that we're become absurd and obsolete. Father and I even talked about Mayans, what happened to their creation, and they became too proud. Father told me what happened with beautiful civilizations. So what did I do after he said about Mayans? So I thought to myself at that point, And mother helped me. Mother supports me where father has to be strict with me. It's the generosity of their gift to me.
It's you have balance.
Oh, incredible balance. Incredible balance. So she motioned me towards, okay, it's ugly to disappear after you're so gifted. And I pushed back myself, refinanced my desire, because you have to desire to learn. Desire is there, but it needs to be a good desire. You need to desire to assist the quantum. Once we found and reassigned my ego, a little bit tweaked it, so I have a twinkle in my eye again, and I can work and love that, because I was warned. You will not get anything unless you love it.
Oh, it's so true that when you really love something that you're doing, it just seems to flow.
Yeah.
And it just moves with you. And you don't feel resistance or you don't feel a blockage, that you just keep moving with that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not supposed to say, am I? Not. I'm smiling because there will be... and he's still teaching my soul to calm down a little bit. The power of love. Oh, he recently gave me the code of power of love. I had to finish a couple of theories, and I couldn't finish without the power of love code. I'm the only person who knows this code, but it tightens you within.
And how did you receive this power of love code?
I'm soul coded. So my soul is free. I know freedom. I was learning freedom from Hashem, from love, from God. And once you become free and powerful, they entice you with everything that there is out there that was not studied. I even was doing the stock market, and it's an old theory. Somebody didn't bring this theory. So Father, he was smiling because he challenged me and said, I'm not picking up this energy. And he said, no problem. I'm going to reorganize it for you so you can work with it. So 2 days later, I already studied this theory today. Very drastic change that came to me after that. I realized a lot more about next programs. I'll talk about what's different about this century. So somebody came to talk about this theory, and a lot of love left that person. Don't know. It sounded a little masculine to me, kind of grouchy. So by virtue of love, I could rationally assess that gift that somebody dropped or something happened to that theory. But there was an aggressive point to that, and I walked away. I know reverent position, so my heart can touch it. This is how you work in quantum. You touch it, you reverent back, so they don't, because it's such a tight compartment, quantum, the reverent base position of your heart takes you back. The gate heals because I expanded myself in that space. It heals time. You motion again, and you take a breath, and you again working on your own. But the heart cleansing is very important. Pi, I can talk about pi. Pi is the frequency of love that flushes me after those sessions. And it's a very happy place. That's why I'm so happy. I love working, because Pi works with me, and it's so gentle, very feminine. So a female scientist can work in that space too.
So how do you find that this works for you, this technique of having this energy come through? You say you have this energy, you can kind of touch it, but then you step back from it. So that way somehow it kind of moves towards you. And then you said that there's a frequency that you use to help flush that. Well, so can you describe that a little bit more in detail?
Well, yes, thank you. As a choice, I'm equipped with sensory perception. I own a nano filter. Nano is God's particle. It's exceptional. I started to study nano filtering for thought processes because I practiced with a lot of Alzheimer's patients. And I don't want to expand on that because I am not pro-disease protocols. But I sensed my patients. I worked with maybe in the future I will explain more about dementia, not love's priority at this point, because of the shift that we all are going through. I cannot create a problem for design, so I have to bow down to what I cannot say and lovingly say that even dementia is proper at this time. And time matters, because you have to be honest with time. Time is virtue, so you have to know virtues to be able to work quantum, because you work with contingencies a lot. To know contingencies, you have to be so solid in your own space that you don't fault it.
And how does this work with health by design?
Health by design is very actually, and please forgive me, I'm so already advanced compared to health by design. It's my structure that is so comforting to people that can explain. It's going to be very heartfelt. It's matrix based. And it's a problem with me because I advance so quickly. So people who are behind will be wowed by health by design. To me, it's an old structure already. But what people will be seeing with health by design, it will be my it's a trademark. You're trading places with your problem, so you become a solution. And we'll talk more about that fascinating option that we structurally built with Father. It was so tedious. It was coding after coding, but it was very healthy path for me, because for 2 weeks I was doing clinical work with dementia patients, then would freeze time here in Chicago for 2 weeks for a long time to decode the processes that I was involved. I didn't have passion already for the old structure. I already knew that structure doesn't work. So my desire to assist medicine was so great and so powerful that I would solidly work 2 weeks, quiet myself with all the feelings, emotions that gave me pleasure, because flow took me to heavens to register everything in a purity. So I purified my heart. It gives you sensational feelings. So the codes are humanly possibly written with love codes. It's a mixture of pleasure and gift.
So with these codes, are you saying that there is some kind of a logic in quantum, or some kind of a theory that you could speak about?
Yes. I've written already several theories with quantum. My process is not to have protocols. So protocols can carry a nasty fight with somebody. It's light structure, light. Love has logic, which I adhere. So working with Father, I work against the light. He would hold the light and give me love. So we continuously expanded more love within me and restructured the physiology. He had to refinance what he would say my heart, which isolated me a little bit, because I had to be honest and true to my heart and see what I am doing. And I committed myself to that logic that I loved, but it gave me so much acceptance into wonderful space called quantum to find gate 168. Father says, I own gate 168. Gate 168, quantum language, is where all the troubles leave you. They don't exist.
So you're talking about,
you passed it.
Is this an energy, or is this some kind of?
It's a structure.
A structure.
It's a functioning structure. I was born in gate number 15, so when I came this time, I was gate 15. And I can maybe say that 48 is very important gate.
So what is 48?
48 is when you're looking for acceptance from love. 7, you take a lot of stakes. 47. It's very important information. Nobody knows this information. Where everything is at stake, 47, you struggle. So codes, they click and you push that option, that time option, the obstacle, the sensational problem. 4 seconds later, you can be in 48.
So you're saying that time can go by so fast, almost in an instant, that you can switch between gates, or you can switch between an energy to the next energy.
It's commanded. It cannot flow. So there's a commander-in-chief, our creator. It's all part of love that he created for us. Okay, it's called miracles. He says what I perform, it's miracles, and it's true. Because I'm such a part of divine that to me, heavens and earth exist. I live it. It's not propaganda. I'm so convinced by them every day that it's my natural existence right now. So to me, I'm not naive anymore. But he had to expand beyond my consciousness. Consciousness is not the limit. There were points in my studying with him where he was verbally instructing and living side by side with me to allow me to know and ask questions.
You know, everything we say here is energy or frequency. You know, there's the frequency of love. We talked about love before. That, you know, that there's so much here that we may or may not really truly understand. There was a movie that came out. It was called Miracles of Heaven. Jennifer Garner was in there. And it was an excellent movie. And it was about a young girl who actually experiences something other than being here, because who did she actually speak to? And she describes her experience as something, you know, not of being earthbound. And, you know, it helped her to heal. She came back into her body. And when she was present in her body, she began to heal from something that was, I would say, almost a terminal disease. And so I know that things can happen and change instantly. Is that what you're describing? Something that you
talking about codes, and I was just asking if, and he said you may touch up on that. Creation has codes. And I'm going to be, in Mother Says, slowly go into it because it's very sacred information. There will be a book written by me. So I'm going to say, apologize, I'm going to say a little bit. I own a lot of different, my soul became ageless, for example, Father says. So that's a sensational thing.
So when you say your soul is ageless, does this happen to everyone?
Don't know the answer yet. I didn't ask that question. And he didn't even explain. He says, but I was, okay, what's important is probably to stop talking about soul, but codes gave me the way. So I think what I need to do is to explain spontaneous a little bit. I think she experienced spontaneous healing. This is what I'm leaning towards because this is where I feel that they're motioning me towards. So spontaneous, this is how it works. But it doesn't have to be an ultimate struggle like in that case, in that movie. He opens the way for me. If I need, a code comes. But it's essential soul that knows how to code a self, which I am. I came as a such soul. I didn't know. I was just a normal person that I am still. I just became more or less naive in regards to what's taking place in our lives. Socially, I was loving the stories about spontaneous healing. So, I mean, I was on that path prior to them, but to me, I started asking questions. Does it have to come to that point to open your eyes?
Well, the spontaneous healing, they label it as such when there's no known medical reason why the person is healing or has healed. So they just label it spontaneous healing. So you're saying, too, that you are a healer or can help another person.
It's God's way. So spontaneous healing is actually God's way. He allows me to have his way. He partners up with me. So he wants me to have his way. And I call him Papa. He's my father. I love him. He kids with me. And he prefers it. It's not an option. He took me as a kid. He announced, he made that announcement. He wanted me not to struggle. So he said, I will give you everything that you need. And the word need was accepted. That you will prove everything that you need to prove. You will march forward. You will not miss anything. You will stay on your path. But quantum came, it was back and forth, but he gave me, to begin with, I'm trying to think, and what he's showing me. We start with crystalline energy. That was sensational. I think this is what people are going to experience first. He's mentioning for everybody else, listen to and believe what I'm saying, but for you guys, it will be crystal energy. That was manifested first for me. So in the beginning, he was manifesting crystalline energy. It was like a drink of champagne for me. Crystal energy is you're my beloved energy. He honors you as a human being, and he accepts you closer. So you can come closer to him. To become one, you have to accept few pathways, because it's not common for a human being to communicate and be so close and to kid, and it would be absurd if I said, yes, it's so easy, you can just go ahead and knock on his door and he opens and says, hey, hello, let's talk. No, there are ramifications if you pretend like that's the truth. No, he chose me, he wanted me, he gave me. It's all his. In the beginning, I didn't want it as an option because I was as primitive, not in that field of not knowing, as anybody. Then he started to love me.
So this is like a consciousness. Are you referring to that?
He can be a consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
I don't perceive him as consciousness, though. To me, he's close up and he's mine. It's true partnership between us. I see him. He's shown himself. I need him, I can see him. But which is a perfectly wonderful solution. He constantly makes sure that I know where I am. I wake up in the middle of the night, I hear his voice. I'm so used to it. Hello, kid. And starts to say what he needs to tell me.
What kind of experience is that when you wake up in the middle of the night and you
very
feel
comforting, very comforting.
Or you hear the voice?
Because I'm matrix based. I need that. It's his choice. I didn't ask. Maybe I was puzzled a couple of times, but I didn't need to know, which was perfectly fine with him. He taught me not to be too proud and not to need. He'll provide. He specified first options with me through a teacher that I had, because she was more open than I was. She studied consciousness. She became an instrument, and I felt close to her. I studied Reiki with her. Although Reiki and me don't go hand in hand together for a long time. It's too simple for me. But in my sleep, that was consciousness. At that time, I was still subconscious like everybody else. So in my sleep, as a devotee, he allowed me to have that integral part where I saw everything, what takes place. I couldn't push myself away from the information. So that was quantum, actually. Quantum instigated with me at that point and started to show me and tell me intelligently what's ahead, exactly what was taking place, and above, because I was so quick, not naive, and I was positive.
Mm-hmm. So you were actually using this as information that you could have for wisdom, something that you were maybe creating with quantum, and
instructions. It was
understanding
instructional, like a movie-like experience that many have. It was very spontaneous gift, but it reinforced my knowing. I wanted to not accept it. I had no option. So once he knows you and sees you as a prophet, at that time I was started as a prophet, he gets you. He gets you, and he needs to. And so you can accomplish everything because the life is, you can't, you have to accept it. Or what's the value of living? He created you like that. It was possible only this way. And he knows what needs to be done. I'm so backed up by him.
Right, but it's also, free will, it's a choice. It's
not for me
also
anymore.
deciding that. And, people, can think about if they want to do that. If they
At
choose to
certain
go down that
point,
path.
you live with this. And he was telling me, but at one point he said, no, you cannot back out anymore. It will be dangerous because you're so full of love now. We have to back you up on everything, and we have to be part of your life. Or a disease process will take place, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I needed them more than anything. Because, and as a reality, I'm disease-free. I don't take any medications. I'm very simple in that structure. We modified everything and we took away everything that would have been blocking me from my health. So health by design, I actually wanted for myself. That was the first available option for me. A lot of perks come with this, but he told me everything ahead of time. I loved it.
Mm-hmm. So using quantum, it also assisted you to be healthy, like the way you are today. And because of, changing the physicalities inside, because a lot of people, as they age, things in the body change. They may alter, break down. There's disease. People go on medications for these, which results in additional medications because of all the things that are going on as a result of taking the first medication. And so it's just this circle. And you're saying that with quantum or with other kind of energy healing, that there's another way that people can be healthy.
Two different pathways. With me in the beginning, I was spontaneous. So spontaneous and free will go kind of together. Devotee has 1% of free will, which pretty much I don't even need. I still get everything that I want because then you become his favorite girl. It's like treat you like a princess. You want it, you get it. You don't want anything, and they still give you. And they shower you with gifts at a certain point because you become entitled to it. But you're a choice at that point. Quantum cannot function without the code, but codes come out of me, literally. Somebody needs something, it comes out of me.
So that's one of the gifts.
It's not spontaneous.
Is that correct?
It's quantum proud choice without even my command. It shows up in person, and it's like it's a flow. It's a flow. That's a miracle part. There's no contingencies. You cannot even think it. It's like a modem. You deliver that kid because nobody walks around pregnant forever, right?
That's right.
It takes place.
Beginning and there's an end.
Or a breath.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain automated things that we don't think, but I am studying all that, all these processes away from protocols because protocols are disease protocols. I don't go there. For whatever reason, I am so pure. I came from pure consciousness. So who's going to take pure consciousness and put them in the goddamn space? That's why they ask me to leave the profession of medicine. But that's true for me. I'm not going to specify what other, for me, it's not pure. For me, I came already gifted. So for me, it's not an option, only because this is how he created me and studied with me. That's his way for me. For others, I will be pleased with everything that they established and they delivered for themselves. If that's what they chose to do this lifetime, who am I to judge?
Right.
I wouldn't, but this is his game. I'm not part of the game process. I am my problems don't exist. I'm a fellow of integrative medicine. I already forgotten everything that we studied there. Integrative medicine doesn't even entice me. Or I earned it. I earned it as a graduate. Some knowledge, some degrees, some recognition. It's meaningless to me right now. Completely meaningless.
Like a metaphysical change.
No, it's a little kinder. It's a little kinder than current flow of medicine. But, there are so many practitioners. I'm not alone. I'm not sitting here and to speak just for me. So many practitioners are asking. They're part of consciousness. They're asking questions. Just like I asked before Father came in and walked into my life. They entice you with those questions. I believe in evolution. I believe in creation because I'm part of all that. I wouldn't pretend to say that I didn't ask myself or challenge myself with questions. I knew. And by the way, how I became quantumized, I think, I was such a good diagnostician. I think, and Father was telling me, I was working in a specific place in quantum, and I would just work, and I was conscious to the point, but I was more of a quantum. I could get a phone call so many times, I didn't even recognize my ability. I would get a phone call. Somebody took my mother home, dementia patients home, and say, Ella, what do I do? She has such symptoms. And I said, I would just look and I would see she has a GI bleed. She takes her to the emergency room. And time after time, and you saved my mom. She did really have a GI bleed. It was an instant. I was working with spontaneous at that time. I was not working with probability, but I had so many levels of expertise before Father came in. I was perfect.
Is that like being a medical intuitive, that you can sense something, sense an energy, that there's a blockage, and then, they go to the hospital or the doctor, and then it is true?
Yes and no. Intuition doesn't exist. Okay. I will be writing about what intuition is. I cannot lie. I'm not allowed to lie. I love the science. I love the science. To explain within a couple of minutes, it's not possible. Read my future work, and I'll talk about how we know. It's very precise. It's a gift in itself. We're gifts. We're part of creation. We all are, knowingly or not. He's proven to me so many times. For a year and a half, he was watching me, and I knew. And I was, for a year and a half, I was finding everything that I needed to find without him telling me, because I was already perfect for what I needed to do.
So, Ella, then what we're going to do is come to a conclusion. And is there something else that you'd like to add today?
Well, love your life and be excited about every opportunity that's coming this century. So I welcome everybody to stay, not just in this room with us, to stay in your current light loves. And he's correcting me. I live in my love life already. Light doesn't exist for me anymore because there are a lot of question marks. Love is a commitment I made for forever now. You cannot go back. That's why evolution and flow, everything goes forward. I would not trade places with anybody today. I loved the way things are in my life. And I'm going to stay this way. He wants me to have a university online. So I'm going to be pushing forward with a lot of information. I love to study. And he knows that. So life is very promising this century. Some are contingent. Some are resilient, more or less. But some are morally correct and will be exemplary souls that will be pushing forward science, morals, investigate into unknown, and teach others. So I congratulate us for living in this beautiful era, and everything and anything can come to conclusions, to time, to promise, and to gift. So
that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Ella. And also to our listeners, thank you for listening today. At SunGates Center, we also have a spring wellness fair coming up. This is Sunday, April 10th from 11 to 4. And we will be having people that will be able to do aura readings, emotion code, Akashic records, life directional readings, spiritual counseling, angel and tarot cards, handwriting analysis, numerology, just to name a few, and many, many others as well. And Ella, you'll be joining us at the fair?
I was asked to participate by above, and I think they want me to do quantum strength and show people how gate changes your even posture for you. It's limitless. So they will use me as an obstacle-free field. So anybody who is willing, come on in.
Yes.
We'll have some time to work with you and grow together and be happy.
Yeah, so please stop by and visit us. If you have any questions about the Wellness Fair, you can reach us at 847-345-0988, and we look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much again, Ella Arbit, for joining us today at SunGates Center, and everyone have a beautiful rest of your day.
Goodbye.